Hi, everybody. So we're going to work on the head of this less hard coated puppy. Um, the 5 different kinds of coat hardness are rock hard, hard. Dang it, I just made this up. So rock hard, hard, less hard, softer, and soft. And kind of the borderline, really, the less hard sometimes requires, in fact, always requires more work, a little more diligence. You have to do things more often. And that's why we're using him as an example right at this moment, because he had his head work last about a month ago. If you have a coat that's a little on the softer side, a little on the less hard side, it's critical that you work the head frequently, regularly, with commitment, or you will not get results that you like or results that are good. The head hair grows faster than hair anywhere else, so it gets too long very quickly. And by too long, what I mean is that it grows out so that the tip, which is where the salt and pepper color is, it's like on these hairs, let's see, it's about 1/4 of an inch long. So really quickly, you're going to grow that out. And then when you look at your dog or your puppy's head and you're like, it's all a solid color, that's a sure sign that it's grown out all the way down to, the final band, which is always just dark. And it's just going to keep growing in dark. The only way to get the salt and pepper, the nice salt and pepper on the head instead of the solid dark or the solid gray, is to strip it about every 2 weeks once you've gotten it going. So I got it going on this puppy with raking and doing that on a regular 2-week basis so that we could get some hard coats starting to come in. Now you can see the difference on the side of the head that I've done already and this side. If I waited much longer than this would become hard enough that it would be difficult to strip, and then I wouldn't have a layer coming in underneath. And so I might end up with actually some bald spots, especially here in the front, because there's no undercoat on the head. And then all of that coat would come in at the same time, and I'd have the same problem again. You really want to maintain the layers in the head, and the only way you're going to be able to do that is to commit to, if you groom nothing else on the dog every 2 weeks, put the time into stripping the head. And that's a good indicator of whether your time allows or your commitment allows the hand stripping, because if you're not able to consistently put aside 10 to 15 minutes to work on the head every 2 weeks, you're really going to be hard pressed to be able to successfully commit to the schedule and the demands of the frequency that's required for hand stripping, especially a coat that's less hard. The harder the coat, the more you can get away with more time in between grooming, because the coat grows a little slower and the part of it that's textured stays that way longer before it transitions to becoming finer, softer, and all in color. So, this is part of how we decide. Is a dog a good candidate for hand stripping? Well, there's some points about that, but am I a good candidate to be the groomer that hand strips this dog? Well, that might be another issue. And with a coat that's not as hard, you might just decide it's not worth it, or it's only going to be worth it to you to do long enough to show him and finish him and get that championship if that's on the agenda for him. And then maybe after that goes to being a clipper dog, because that's easier for both of you. So some thought process on how we do it, and also just every 2 weeks, work the head. If you don't have time to pull it all out, you don't have 10 minutes for that, spend 5 raking it. Put a little ear powder in it and rake it. Do something every 2 weeks to be pulling in, to be starting to grow in a new layer of coat, so that you can always have some nice color on top. All right. Catch you next time.